Hello, delicious co-creators. Hello, Laila.
Hello.
Oh, what a blessing. A wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing to have you here and have this conversation in English.
I'm so happy to see you. I can't even imagine. And we're in Paris.
We're in Paris. It's raining. We had a couple of things happening here, but we've been able to make it.
Yeah.
And I think this conversation is very special and important to have, especially right now with everything that is happening.
Yeah.
And we just recorded an interview in French, and I think the content of this video is you will see. Particularly, how do I say? Well, we're going to talk about light beings and how to connect to them, and how to be in this reality.
Yeah.
And how to because you've been connected to these light beings for a long time. How long?
Let me think. Wow. So when the real big experiences happened, it's like about 17 years ago when I started getting the trances and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Embarrassed. I hope my kids don't listen to this.
The time is now. We agree. I mean, the time is now.
Yeah.
I had many signs personally. We all did in our lives that it's time to talk about all these things fully, openly. Some people are already talking about it.
Exactly.
This is your version of it, and an access to more light in our life, and to be able to go through those darker times.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is why it's important now.
Yes, it is.
Because we don't know when and what is going to happen exactly.
No.
We are all thinking it's going to go pretty bad,
yes,
but there is a way to live something a bit differently, connected to those beautiful light beings. So for you, for 17 years, you've been in those trance.
Well, it started off with like these incredible trances first. That was like about 2 years of trances. Then it turned into these, I call them visitations, where these beautiful beings would come of like incredible compassion and love, and everything would light up with just this brilliance of light and love. And then started a whole process of doing channeling. For very few people.
Like 10, 20 people?
Yeah, I used to do it very small groups. Then we used to do it in Europe. I used to do it in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And then now back in LA, back in America, and now I do it with my son, who also started receiving incredible
When he was
experiences.
14.
When he was 14, yes. I have two children.
Yeah.
They both have these kind of connections.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they're now in their 30s. I mean,
And then in their
early
30s.
30s.
Yeah.
And I mean, what enables that? You know, what is the experience of that, and how can we learn from that?
Yeah, I mean, in our case, it just happened. I mean, we didn't ask for anything. I never asked for anything, except that I was always interested in, other lives, other dimensions, other things, saints, and all that. That was my favorite subject in school.
Yeah,
it was things like that, which were not quite the right thing to do. But I think now, I don't know how to explain it. I think it's about the conscious effort we just spoke about for the French interview.
Yeah.
Is about consciously putting that effort to create this new dimension, this new reality where we can really access these other beings. I don't even dare to say it. These other beings, just whatever means it's going to be. Whether it's meditation, whether it's prayer, whether it's someone wants to walk in the woods, do yoga, do this, do that. It doesn't matter.
But doing a conscious effort and connecting and asking, how do you phrase it to connect? Because you do it quite loosely, I mean, easily and ongoingly even.
Yeah. Well,
so you ask for them to come?
I speak I'm always speaking with other rabbis, because I had a lot of miracles, and because it ended up being such a level of love and support and hope and light, especially in periods that were difficult. We've all had lots of challenges lately. So I end up talking all the time. I mean, people think I'm nuts, but I speak in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm always speaking, and I have answers.
Yeah.
I have answers, and things happen that show that I'm not inventing anything.
Yeah.
And it's not
like you're meditating on this rock.
Yes.
Tell us about that meditation.
The one in India?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was meditating on this rock next to Rishikesh.
Right.
And I was just doing basic, meditation, just simple, just no thoughts and just the breath. And I was with a few friends, and one friend, he took a picture of a wild dog that came and that sat opposite me, looking at me for about 20 minutes to half hour, and he was just sitting there. So after that, I said, oh, and maybe it's Shirdi Sai Baba, because he's known to present himself to devotees in the form of wild dogs or beggars.
So this happens in your life even in physical form. Those light beings can come in physical form.
Sometimes. Generally, usually it's not like that.
Yeah.
Usually it's feelings, perceptions. I see them, or I see lights.
Yeah.
I see the colors, I see the beauty, the love.
Yeah.
I see it's amazing. The level of beauty is unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's the most, I have no words, I can't describe it. It's just this beauty.
Yeah.
It's like, you know these like paintings you have of Krishna and these, with these gods, they're like just incredibly beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a million times more.
Yeah.
The beauty, the light that emanates from the skin.
Yeah.
Incredible.
And when you had these trances at the time where the water of compassion just would pour out of your eyes, I mean, this is like an experience of total ecstatic love, or how do you describe that, where you're embodying
so that
another light being, right? Yeah. You're allowing that, or you've been chosen for that, or how?
Yeah, I don't dare to use the word chosen, it sounds bad, but I'm scared. But it's this being of, I'm not going to give any names, so no cultural names, no religious names, nothing. But it was a female deity, and when she used to come a lot, there would be this water would come out of my eyes, and I wasn't crying, and I didn't have to blow my nose, and it was just water of compassion. Yeah. And the most extraordinary thing is to feel that compassion, because you're like little Laila sitting behind there. And you're feeling this high level of compassion. You're observing.
And feeling.
And feeling. And it's a compassion that there's no way I have. I wish I had it, but I really don't. I just don't have it. It's such a high level of compassion. And the water would come out, just pour. I would get, sometimes my clothes were wet. So she still comes once in a while. She only comes for people who are new or who need problems. Yeah,
do you feel that they're going to come and more to you and embody through you to bring some kind of different frequency on earth, or this is just happening and it's up to us to kind of do it the work for ourselves to connect to these light beings, because this is really the job of everybody now these
Absolutely.
days.
It's definitely the job of everybody. I really don't want to say anything that people need to be connecting to me or to my son. He has this incredible, beautiful presence also. It's a possibility. It's to help people see this divinity, to touch it, to recognize it, and to be able to access this frequency on their own. It's also a possibility so that the frequency can come down on this dimension. But never would I ever say that people have to go through, and my son would use the same words. It's really up to every person individually to do this work, and to this effort. They have to do it. One has to do it.
It's a conscious effort.
Yes, conscious effort. That's the word they always say. You have to do it. You can't just wait and, this is going to come up and show up. The angel is going to show up. No, it doesn't work that way. One has to work at it every day, no matter what, no matter what's happening, no matter what's going on. And it's not easy. Sometimes a lot is going on.
And how do you word it so they come?
I just call them. I say, please come. Can you please come?
Like just a lot of a child. You have the inner child.
I say, can you please come? And sometimes it's happened to me in situations where I've been in real problem situations where I've said, come! Like dangerous situations.
Miracle happen.
I yell a bit, come. But if not, I just say, please, can you come? And I just wait. And they come.
Yeah. You do that. Always. You start your meditation with that.
Always. Yeah.
With prayers also.
Sometimes prayers. It depends. It depends. I mean, you don't even need the rituals.
Yeah.
I like them. I like doing the candle, the incense, the this, the that, the prayers, but you don't need it.
Yeah.
It's not necessary.
Tell us about what you have received, because we've done several videos in French and in English already. More so in French because
yes. Yeah.
It happened that way, but now definitely, we're doing it in English, and in Paris, and there is this paper. You wrote this while you were in meditation, and you were able to have this kind of information on about these filters. Tell us about this this technique, or this the information that you received that could be really helpful, especially now. Yes.
So this is the understanding that I got. I hope I'm translating it correctly. Oops. So is that there's different frequencies, and at the beginning they're very close to the way it looks like here. What we're experiencing as a reality. and we all know that everyone experiences things differently. You know, my uncle used to be an ophthalmologist, and he used to say, no one sees blue the same way. And I'm like, what? How can no one see blue the same way? So same way, everyone experiences reality. So they're very close together, and they're different frequencies, there's different layers, and the further you go, the more they're separated. And with this conscious effort that you create with your intention, your will, whatever decision you make to have this conscious effort, it makes like an opening or a portal that helps you to slide. You can slide through these frequencies, and it's a bit like, you know, when there's a film and there's a filter, so you can have different filters for the same experience. Let's say there's an actor and he's living an experience, he's crossing some, I don't know, he's going to see Notre Dame, for example, you know, in Paris. So in one image it can be all grey with the rain and miserable and all that, and then they can just change a filter and it looks different. And then the mood is different and the music changes, everything's different. And you can have many different versions of that. So this is the same. There are different versions that are very close to our reality, and we have the ability to slip through that. But it has to be by our conscious effort. It's not going to just happen on its own. Unless people have big mystical experiences or things like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe drugs, I don't know, I don't do that, so I have no idea. But maybe for some people it can have openings that way. Who knows?
Yeah. So it's a deeper experience of love?
That would be a deeper experience of reality. But the further you would go into this, more separated from this kind of reality, where you experience things in a more of a suffering way, then it would be more permeated by this love, because love permeates the whole universe. And I mean, I'm not just saying words out of the blue. I'm saying it because I really felt it and lived it.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah. And we can do that at any time, like even if we're in the middle of something that is catastrophic and where there's huge fears and anxieties and all that, we can like all of a sudden, boom.
Yeah, well, when I'm in those situations, because I've been there like everyone else, like what you say, huge fear, anxiety, even
panic attacks,
fear. I mean, I've had panic attacks too, you know. And I, in that case, I pray because it goes faster. I ask for help. I just say, please. I don't do like a conscious effort or a meditation or something. I just say, can you please help me? You know, to get out of it fast, because those situations are really tough. We've all lived them.
Yeah. And it's a possibility that we're going to live some of them.
And it's a possibility that we could live more. Yeah.
Because you had the choice to stay or not.
Yeah. That was in January 2020.
Yeah.
They told me the world is going, you can stay or leave. I'm like, what? But again, the visit, it was a visit in brackets. There was so much love and so much beauty that I didn't care whether they told me that or not, because it just didn't matter. But they said, well, you've kind of done what you wanted to do and you can choose now. And I said, no, I'm going to stay for my children. And which is incredible, because that's actually after that, when I came back to LA and the whole thing started March, 2020, that started the openings for my son with this channeling for Shaul.
So how do you how can we find more about your son too? Because I haven't had the chance to interview him yet.
Well, let's talk to him tonight. He might be shy.
He's here?
He's not in Paris. No, he's in LA right now.
Yeah.
Both sons, they both have things like that.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
But on your website, I mean, I know you have a website, right, in English too.
Yeah.
Laila del Monte.com, I suppose.
But the one that's specifically where we talk about the channeling is called healinglights.org. And I speak about different, Therify machines, and a bit about the blessings. But he might be open to it. I don't know. We have to ask him.
Yeah.
The other one also. They both have incredible things. Because they both were connected with.
You taught him. How was it to be a mother and to share that and to teach spiritual?
Well, I feel terrible. I feel I was a really bad mom. Because what happened is
they took care of you at some point.
I feel so bad because they were 14, and there I was having trances every minute, and they had to feed me because I couldn't touch anything, couldn't touch. My hands were like that, and like I really feel maybe I wasn't a good mom because they saw me a lot having trances. I mean, maybe it wasn't fun. It was probably not fun, But what's interesting is that later on, then they were musicians. They're both musicians. And it was in the Israeli Philharmonic and all that. They're both into that. And now, in their 30s, now they're starting to very much be into this dimension.
Yeah. So you were able to teach them, or they just observed? Or they got interested about it at some point, or how?
No, not even. No. What happened is during COVID, one of the sons, well, the one, okay, Enoch, there's two, there's Shaul and Enoch. Sorry guys, I hope you're not listening to this. It's going to be so embarrassing. So it's with him that I did all the practices of the first being that was coming, the one with the water, the compassion. And we used to practice like 2-3 times a day, regularly, all the time, and then we started small groups. And that was with him. And
he said, I want to. I mean, he came to you and said, I'm ready, or?
He used to just come and we used to practice that.
Oh, yeah.
And then years later, Shaul, which is now recently during COVID, he said, I would like you to channel. He was pushing, speaking, channeling. I'm like, no, I don't do that. I don't do it because they don't talk. And he was insisting. So we did it. And then there was this big download of information that was for him, telling him that he was going to get prepared and all of that. And I was like, wow. I mean, I completely did not expect that. And right that same night, it started. All the preparations, pretty intense.
There are some parents around the world, and I'm thinking of some co-creators that are living in South Africa that have this amazing daughter, and that had the chance to, meet the Dalai Lama and meet this and Desmond Tutu when he was still there, and all these people, and you feel like there is those kids and those that are now adolescent and in their 20s and 30s that had really like this incredible encounters, and and you're like, when are they gonna, like, they feel that they were prepared, a lot of us even feel like we've been prepared for something, different levels. When is that gonna open up, is there?
Because free will, because it takes time.
It's free will.
See, they were living their life as musicians and they weren't ready for that, it wasn't the right moment. And free will, you can also decide not to do it. It can come to you and you can decide not to. Because anytime you engage in anything like that, it takes a lot of dedication, takes a lot of work, you have to stick to this high level of integrity, which is not easy.
It's a responsibility.
It's a responsibility, and you don't necessarily want to have it.
And the integrity is so important.
Yeah.
You're so right to mention that.
Yeah, you have to stick to that.
Yeah.
Not easy. No. Sometimes it's not easy.
Yeah. But so important.
Yeah. And sometimes you wonder, am I on the right side or not doing the right thing? You wonder.
But that's good if you're questioning. Because some people are not, so that's the scary part.
I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. Well, I'm so excited we're able to have this conversation in English. Thank you so much for opening up. I mean, you're open up fully, but to have this in front of the camera.
Well, at least I'm daring.
Much. Yes.
I don't know how many years later, I'm finally daring.
Yeah,
and I don't care now. People can think what they want. Doesn't matter.
No, we're all in this together. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Much love, delicious co-creators. Much love, Laila. Thank you.
Thank you, Lilou. Thank you.
Big kisses. We love you. Bye.